Hello and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Red Light Truck Series, airing on RLN. I'm your host, Jeremy Patterson, and with me is Matt Breckel. Tonight we bring you live coverage from Watkins Glen International, our first and only road course of the season, where the boys will be racing for 25 laps on this 2.5 mile winding track. Let's have a look at a lap I did earlier today in the truck to show what these guys are up against tonight. Starting off in the front stretch here, we have a nice long straightaway that provides some passing opportunities. Right after the start-finish line, you have to brake really hard to downshift for this downhill 90-degree right-hander. There is a nice big runoff here if you need it, but using it will definitely slow you down. Up next, you head uphill into the S's, a windy, treacherous section of track that gets very loose and very narrow at the top as you crest that hill, leaving zero runoff and zero room for error. You want to get a good exit out of the S's because up next is the backstretch. A good opportunity to make a pass here, but you have to make sure you get it done before this next obstacle, the bus stop, which is the most difficult section for many drivers. You can clip the curbs a little here, but you got to be careful not to let the truck get too unsettled. Exiting the bus stop, we get on the carousel, a long, sweeping right-hander that has a habit of biting over aggressive drivers and teasing you into attempting a pass when you probably shouldn't. Next is a short straightaway over another bridge, before coming to the only real left-hander of the course, known as the fast left. That turn will set you up for the final right-hander, another slow turn, before bringing it home down the front stretch. Alright, so this will be our 7th race of the 10-week season for the Red Light Truck Series. After tonight, the drivers will have just 3 more races to fight for those points and try to be the second Red Light champion. Next week we'll be racing at Texas Motor Speedway, followed by Phoenix, and then on to Homestead. Let's have a look at last week's nail-biting finish. After nearly an all-green flag race, the drivers were still all in a pack at the end. Butler and Kirk took the inside line coming out of the final turn with Lee and Gilbert on the outside. It was a drag race to the finish as they battled for position, and Lee ended up taking home the checkered flag by a mere .037 seconds. This was Lee's second win of the season, and that moves him up to just 1 point behind Buckley for that championship position. And here you see our current season standings going into this 7th race. We have Joshua Buckley and Dustin Lee each have 2 wins. Keith Haney and Timothy Lewis each have 1 win. Rounding out your top 10, we have Robert Craze, William Kirk, John Fershing Jr., Kevin O'Brien, Damon Gilbert, and Sean Butler. So pretty good close race in there, especially for those from 7th on up. Just real close, and I think we're going to see a couple more changes in position before the end of the season. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I think so too. Just checking out the practice times and the qual times. It looks like we may have some shakeup on the points, depending how guys are. They are not, they're used to running on ovals all the time. They may not be as good on the road courses.
That's right. Tonight could definitely be sort of a wild card for some of these drivers. Some of our really strong guys. I know Dustin Lee's pretty good on road courses. I don't know if I've ever raced with Joshua Buckley on a road course, so we'll see how he does. But he's been a really strong driver everywhere else. But bonus points are huge this season, so anything can happen.
Yeah, and like I said, 25 laps around the track tonight. That's a little bit longer than a full fuel run, so they are going to have to make at least 1 stop somewhere during the race.
That's right. And on these road courses, we do have full course cautions turned on, but we typically don't see any cautions. Usually a mistake at a road course ends up just sending a driver completely off the track, and he has to end up recovering on his own. But if there is a big crash that is in somebody's way, typically the caution will come out. So we'll see. I'm not used to seeing too many full course cautions on road courses, though.
Yeah, the only ones I can think of would be if there's a massive pileup on turn 1 or something like that nature.
Yeah, and that is very possible. The start here is always treacherous at Watkins Glen. As soon as those guys roll off that starting line, they're headed right towards a sharp right-hand 90-degree turn. I had a talk with the drivers before the race, and we all agreed just to sort of give a little bit of space to the driver in front. There's no need to be right on his bumper. Everyone's going to be slamming their brakes in that first turn anyway, so hopefully we can keep it clean through there and go on and duke it out under green.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of time to make passes after that first turn. You can't win it, but you definitely can lose it.
Yep. So let's have a look right now at our qualifying order. It looks like Keith Haney got that pole position with a 1 minute 13 second .028. Man, that's good. That's a lot faster than what I could do. And their qualifying is over, and they're going to start taking the grid here any moment, and they'll do that. Pace lap does take quite a while at this track.
Yeah, we had 11 drivers take time, 12 drivers overall, so good field for tonight.
Yeah, we have a pretty good showing. New member tonight, number 83, Glen Sidman, and he seems like a real good driver. I chatted with him a little bit before the race, and he's excited about racing with us. We're excited to have him. Seems like a good, clean driver, and just add more to the field, man. Make this even better place. And we got weather today is mostly cloudy skies, 65-degree track, so that's going to give them maximum grip, which will definitely be needed. It's hard to race on these road courses in these big heavy trucks, so should be fun to watch though. All right, so drivers are starting to roll off, and we will go through your starting grid here. In row 1, you have your pole sitter, Keith Haney. Next to him is the 83, Glen Sidman.
Row 2, we've got the number 7 of Zach Reed, and then the number 15 of John Fershing.
In row 3, we have the 84 of Kevin O'Brien. And outside of him is the 2 of Joshua Buckley.
In the 4th row, we've got Dustin Lee. 1 point back from 1 point back in second place, and then on the outside of him we've got Chris Kessler in the 0-1.
Row 5, we have the 00 of Robert Craze and the 68 of Damon Gilbert.
And in row 6 we've got Aaron Gabron and James Haney.
All right, nice big field out there. We like to see that. Yeah, I'll tell you what, this pace lap sometimes can be a little treacherous.
Yeah, I heard the drivers talking over their radios to make sure the bus stop and the carousel to be careful. But I really like how you had 11 drivers and but only 3 seconds difference. It's, on a place like this, that's pretty small.
Yeah, it really is. And you know, road racing is one of those things where you got to be careful. If you're careful, you're going to end up finishing really well. And it's real easy for a lot of hard work to go down the drain really fast if you're not real careful here. All right, so they're coming around this last turn and getting ready to go to green. A little close coming off of that turn 1 from the number 15 of John Fershing, but he was able to get back up there on the track. Good clean start. So it looks like Keith Haney is going to lead this first lap here. And newcomer Glen Sidman right on his tail. I tell you what, he's a good driver. I'm going to enjoy watching him race with us. Ooh, almost had contact between the 68 and the 01. Good job getting that brake down there. So they did a great job getting sorted out right off the bat, and that's the smartest way to do it, man. You do not want to be battling somebody side by side on these road courses.
Yeah, that's just a recipe for disaster there. Just pass on the straightaways and go on the turns.
That's right. And this isn't a particularly long race. I mean, we only got 25 laps, but 25 laps here is, you know, that's like running 80 or so laps on a mile-and-a-half track. And so there's plenty of time to catch up.
Yeah, the mistakes here are so much more, have such higher consequences. You know, you get off the line on an oval, you might lose a second or two, but here, you know, you go off track, you're going to lose a lot of time.
It's like Buckley clipped that grass just a little bit coming out of turn one. That happens a lot. It's really not that bad. You can still maintain pretty good control truck right there. But, man, he is really right on Fershing's tail. Let's see what happens here. Coming up the back stretch, he moves the inside. Fershing looked like he was going to try to block him, but no, he's going to back out. Smart move by Fershing.
Yeah, he gave him that spot. Didn't want to contest it going in there.
Yep, that is the smartest thing to do. I'm telling you, if the guy has a run on you, if he already caught up to you this soon, you know he's faster than you. You might as well just let him go. That was very smart, good driving by both guys. Looked like he was going to try and hold him off there for a second, but you can see how quickly he thought better of it. Meanwhile, leader Keith Haney has Glen Sidman, the newcomer, right on his tail. I tell you what, I wouldn't be too surprised to see Glen take this race because he had a really good qual lap, and he's sticking right there with the leader.
Oh, yeah.
So Keith has about a 0.9 second lead ahead of Glen. But it's all about consistency. If you can just be consistent lap after lap after lap, you'll catch up and pass somebody. And good little battle back here for 7th, 8th, and 9th between Robert Craze, Chris Kessler, and Damon Gilbert. Gilbert is right on Kessler. Kessler's another new addition to our league. He joined us last week at Talladega and did great there.
Lets him go.
Yep. Smart driver once again. That's what we're all about. Man, we got some good drivers here. Oh, no! Gilbert gets loose. He's into the wall. He's in the grass. He's going to get back on the track. He lost a couple spots. He didn't lose too much.
Isn't that how it always is? You rag on people, and that's when it happens.
Yeah, exactly. He did good, though. You know what? He held on to it. Let's go back and watch a replay here. He comes around. You can see he goes just a little bit wide coming out of that left-hander and clips the grass, and that's all it takes. When you're pushing that hard coming out of the turn and your back end clips the grass, wow, that was close. Good job by him holding off though and not jumping back on the track in front of the other drivers.
If you want to go back up to the front, those two guys are almost neck and neck now.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, Glen's definitely, he's giving Keith a run for his money. Keith's going to have to earn this one. That is fun though. When you're up there in the lead, you know you got to fight the other guy off. You don't want to push too hard and crash, but you don't want to let him go either. You get the jitters, man. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, when you're in front, it's just like, okay, don't let that guy behind you bother you. Just make your line, do it perfect.
Yeah, and that really is the hardest thing, and for a lot of people, myself included, that is the thing that ends up taking you out. Is I spend too much time looking at the guy behind me. It's easy to do that.
Those two guys have got about a 4-second lead on third and fourth right now.
Yeah, they're really checking out. Yeah, and it's hard to predict what Glen is doing here, you know, since he's never raced with us. For all we know, he might just be hanging back and waiting for his chance to strike, or he might be pushing as hard as he can. You know, we really don't know what kind of driver he is yet, but I think we're going to get a good show tonight. I tell you something else. He told me before the race, this is actually his first time racing the trucks at Watkins Glen, so that's pretty impressive. First time racing the trucks, and you're threatening the leader this hard.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good omen for later in the season.
Yeah, it really is. And for next season.
And the plan for next season is to stay with the trucks, just maybe have a couple different tracks to have variety, but same general idea, right?
Yep, that is right. We're going to stick with the trucks. The drivers seem to like them a lot. And that, you know, we're going to give the drivers what they want, and that's what everybody seems to like. So yeah, we will stick with that. Maybe eventually we'll branch out and do some different things. I'd like to see some short track racing, but that's just me.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people like to hate it, but I like Bristol. I don't like Martinsville as much because it's just, you have to slow down so much, but I do like Bristol.
Yeah, Martinsville's really difficult to get around. Bristol's a lot easier to get around, but it's still pretty treacherous. But man, it's a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to race. All right, so Keith Haney, pole sitter, has led every lap so far this race. Let's go back through the field here. Second place, we have newcomer Glen Sidman, who's done an excellent job so far on this race. And he joins us from California. Back in third, we have the number 7 is Zach Reed, another new member. He joins us from New York. Fourth is Dustin Lee, who's second in our season standings right now. And he's right here in Carolina with me and you. Fifth place, we have the number 2 of Joshua Buckley. He is our standing champion from last season and current champion points leader for this season. However, Dustin Lee is only a point behind him, and right now with Dustin Lee being ahead of him, that puts them even in the season standings. Next we have another New Yorker, John Fershing, the number 15. Seventh place, another Carolina Club member, Robert Craze, the 00 truck. And just behind him, not very far behind him at all, is Chris Kessler. He's only 0.7 seconds behind Craze, so he might be battling for that 7th spot here pretty soon. And he joins us from New York. And Damon Gilbert, one of our younger drivers, joins us from Indiana. He's coming down pit road right now. I tell you what,
Yeah, that's
I think he's probably using the strategy of getting the most amount of time on the newer tires.
yeah. He is the first person to go down pit road today.
So next we got Kevin O'Brien, and he joins us from Australia. He's one of two members that we have from Australia, and great driver, joins us every week and supports the league, and we like having him around. And James Haney, father of the current leader, Keith Haney, the number 55 truck, and that's always fun, seeing a father-son team drive on iRacing. And both of those guys join us from Georgia. Back in 11th place, we have the number 5 of Aaron Gabron joining us from New York. And rounding out the field, actually, rounding out the field is Damon Gilbert. He just came out of pit road. So he's got those fresh tires. Yep. Go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, yeah, he's last right now, but just remember, everyone's going to have to pit eventually, so we'll see if he gets any advantage off getting the new tires first.
That's right. And he came out with a pretty good gap between him and the leaders, so he should be all right. And I tell you what, I also wonder maybe he didn't pit because he had to get some damage repaired, and he's still sliding all around. Remember, he got into that wall a few laps ago, so it could have been he needed some damage repaired.
Oh, I'm noticing he is only about 5 or 6 seconds ahead of in lap right now.
Yeah, he is. Keith Haney and Glen Sidman coming up fast on him. Go on board with Glen Sidman, staring at that first place spot the whole time. He might be just biding his time. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Damon is, I think he is a little bit faster than these leaders right now on those newer tires. So tires do mean something. And he did a full 4-tire stop as well. He's just got to be careful. I think he's pushing a little too hard coming out of those turns. I keep seeing his back end slide around. That's going to eat those tires back up. Yeah, that's slowing him way down. He keeps locking up the brakes. So tough for some of these oval guys on these road courses. It's not typical that they're turning right and left and hitting the brakes hard and everything. So we'll see how that works out. And last week, Gilbert's the one who pushed our leader, Dustin Lee, in for the win. Let's go back up front to our leaders here. Glen is still right on Haney's bumper, and he is not letting up at all. Haney has the pressure on him. He's had the pressure on him the entire time, and they're coming to 13 laps to go, so almost halfway done with the race already. And they are catching up to Damon pretty quickly. Glen looks like he's going to make a move coming out of turn 1. I think he backed off of a bit. It looked like he had a bit of a run on Keith there.
Yep. I was just going through the field. Dustin Lee made a pit stop, 2-tire stop, and Aaron Gabron looks like he's towed his car back to the garage.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Did he wreck out? I didn't even see anything happen.
Yeah, checked on it. He looked like he hit the outside wall and stopped. Must have had some serious damage, and he hit the tow button.
Ah. Let's go back and watch a replay of Aaron Gabron here. Oh yeah, he hit the wall hard. Let's watch this replay. See him come down into turn 1. Went a little bit wide on the exit of turn 1, got back up on the track, and I think it was the S's that got him here. He's coming up the S. Yep, he clipped the inside curb of that right-hand turn starting up the S's, and that ran him right into the wall. And that did him in. So I guess he took it behind the wall. They do have a reset, so maybe he just decided to sit this one out. And that's not necessarily a bad idea. If you're having a tough time with the road course and it's just not clicking with you, better just to get off the track and let everybody else run the race. Man, this battle for the lead is really heating up.
Yeah, they get past the lap car of Damon Gilbert, and now they're back to battling.
Good job by Damon letting those guys get past him so they can duke it out. I always hate when I'm getting lapped and I got the leaders coming up behind me, especially if they're fighting. I mean, no one wants to mess those guys up, and I'm just so afraid of being that guy who messes them up. So it's always good to see someone do the right thing and just let them go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of the guys over in the back half of the field are now taking their pit stops.
And so far, Dustin Lee's the only one who's done a 2-tire pit stop. Looks like we got Buckley and Haney Buckley, Haney, and Gilbert have all 3 done a 4-tire pit stop. And you can see there on your screen, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, we got a little map of the track there. And you can see they're all pretty far spread out around this track, with the exception of the one who are still battling pretty hard. And I think pretty soon we're going to see everybody else coming down pit road as well. Just 10 laps to go right now, and everybody's going to have to stop. They don't have enough fuel to make it to the end. I'm curious to see how that curious to see how the pit strategy is going to work out for Dustin Lee. And it looks like we got a John Fershing.
Yeah, he's stuck up against the guardrail. That's what it sounds like on the radio.
Oh no. And he's going to have to reset. Yep. It looks like he might have. Yeah, some kind of a glitch in the simulator. I'm watching the replay now. Looks like it came out of that last turn, and I guess it glitched and kind of stuck his truck into the guardrail. That's a shame. That's awful to see something like that. I hope they can get that type of thing fixed up, because I don't like to see a driver. He lost a lot of time because of that and had to tow to pit road when he was right there coming into pit road.
Yeah, it's something that wasn't even his fault. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, that's gonna really, really hurt him for this race. Man, I really hate to see that. It's just a glitch. Sometimes it happens. So back to the leaders. Glen has 9, almost only 8 laps to go to try and make something happen here on Keith.
I would bet the both the leaders are going to only take, if they do any tires, it'll just be 2.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. All right, so now we see Fershing leaving pit road, and Robert Craze is coming into the pit. And the leaders are coming around the start-finish line. They're going to go for another lap at least. So Craze takes 4 tires and fuel. I'm curious if these guys are going to pit at the same time or on different pit cycles and see what happens.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a game of chicken.
Could be. Man, Glenn took that curb pretty hard. I saw his truck bouncing around. Good job keeping control of it. So here's something interesting. Dustin Lee, he's 48 seconds behind the leaders, so I don't think that strategy is going to completely pay off, but he could gain a few spots depending on how these other drivers pit, especially Chris Kessler. He's only 9 seconds behind Chris, so if Chris pits and takes 4, Dustin could end up getting a 1 position out of it, but I don't think it's going to work out for a win for him.
Yeah, I think he's going to get 4th unless something happens with the top 3.
And the thing that's on Dustin Lee's mind right now isn't necessarily the win here. What's on his mind is Joshua Buckley, who's sitting there 1 position behind him.
2 leaders in points right next to each other, or next to each other position-wise on the track.
That's right. Now Buckley just gets around Kevin O'Brien for that 6th position just now, coming out of the carousel. And he's going to be trying to chase down Dustin Lee. Now Buckley has already pitted, and he took 4 tires, so Dustin Lee's probably going to lose that spot, and Buckley's going to maintain that points lead. Oh, actually, correction, that Dustin already pitted as well. What am I thinking? Yeah, Dustin already pitted too, so all he's got to do is hold off Buckley, and they'll end up being tied in points, I believe.
Yep. Yeah, Kevin O'Brien hasn't pitted yet, so he's definitely going to drop back some more.
That's right, and our top 4 have not pitted yet. So Dustin on 2 tires, Buckley on 4 tires, coming to 5 laps to go with a 10-second deficit. It's going to be all about how these tires hold off. I think Dustin will be able to hold them off for that position, though. In fact, Dustin's last lap was just a little bit faster than Buckley's last lap, so I don't think that the 2-tire strategy is hurting him at all. Keith Haney and Glenn Sidman going to go around for another lap. Well, these guys are just going to try and make the fuel go to the end, I wonder. Keith has gained a little bit of ground on Glenn, but not too much. Glenn is still threatening him. All right, let's see if these guys pit this time. Does not look like they're going to. They're going to keep battling. Ooh, Glen falls back quite a bit. Coming out of that last turn on the front stretch. And he catches right back up on the turn one. I think Glen's attacking turn one a little more aggressively than Keith is.
Next car they're going to come up to is, let's see, Kevin O'Brien is about to get lapped here. He hasn't pitted yet either.
Yeah, and ooh, Kevin almost goes off the track there. Right tires catch the dirt a little bit, but he held on to it. Yeah, now might be a good time for Kevin to pit. If he's going to need to pit, now's about the time to do it. And that's always a good strategy on road. If you're going to have to slow down to let somebody by, or if you're battling somebody really hard, that's another good time to pit on road courses, because you're faster when you're by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Kevin's going to continue going.
You know what? Not this time.
So Keith has extended his lead. He's got about an extra half a second compared to what he had last lap. So I don't know, Glen might be running out of steam here, but I think the pit stop's going to be the deciding factor.
Yep.
Go back on board with the number 83, Glenn Sidman. You can see he's got a lot of dirt on his windshield there. He's been right behind Haney's truck the entire race, so he's got a lot of Haney's tire junk all over his windshield. Let's see if they're going to pit this time. Nope, still not pitting. They've only got 3 to go.
Kevin's way off in the gravel.
Well, that's one way to let him go.
Yeah, I guess that was intentional. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. Honestly, with how big that runoff is there in turn one, that's really not a bad place to do it. I know we talked about... Oh, Kevin gets loose.
Oh, hits the wall.
Kevin got loose and hit the wall.
Yeah, it used to be that was all gravel. Now I guess the game it's actually paved, so it's not so bad.
See the replay here. Yeah, Kevin just barely clipped the dirt coming up the top of that hill. And yeah, there's no room for error there. Yeah, that is all paved. In fact, in real life, they've actually paved even more of that. Where that runoff area ends into the grass on our simulator, it's actually paved now in real life too. So they ended up paving that whole lawn. So they got 2 to go. Are they going to try and are they going to finish the race on pit road, or are they going to make it last?
I think they're going to try to make it. This is lap 24 right now.
All right, final lap. The white flag is out.
Keith Haney's skunking it up, 24 out of 24.
Yeah, he's going to sweep this one if he makes it to the end with the fuel. I'm wondering how much fuel they have left. And keep an eye on them. You never know. One of these guys might just fall off. If one guy was a little more aggressive on the throttle than the other one, that might be just all it needed to push him over to the edge and not let him have enough fuel to the end.
No pressure. Zach Reed is 24 seconds back.
Yeah. These guys can. Well, yeah, they can save as much as they want between the two of them, but it's each other that they're worried about. Keith definitely doesn't want to give this up after leading that many laps. You don't want to lose it here right at the end. And he's going to make it. Keith Haney comes around that last turn. Coming to the checkered flag. Keith Haney leads every lap here at Watkins Glen. Good job by Keith.
Yeah, good job, good job. I don't know if they were conserving or if we were just off in our calculations, but yeah, good job, good job.
Yeah, great job by Jim. Great show by Glen Sidman on his first race with us. That's really good, and good clean driver we can see already. So we're glad to have him with us. So Keith Haney's going to burn off those tires there outside of turn 1, and here in just a couple seconds we'll pull him down here and get an interview with him and find out what his secret is, because I want to use it next time I race on this course. All right, so we still got a couple drivers finishing up, and I think that'll do it for the race. So get your top 3 there at the top of your screen. Keith Haney, the number 87, gets first. Glen Sidman, second, the number 83. Zach Reed, the number 7, gets third place. Fourth place is Chris Kessler. Fifth is Dustin Lee, the 2-tire. Actually, you know what? There were a lot of cars who didn't pit at all. Dustin Lee went with 2 tires. Joshua Buckley, Keith Haney, Kevin O'Brien, Robert Craze, Damon Gilbert, and James Haney. And rounding out the last 2 is John Fershing and Aaron Gabron. Aaron and John both are had trouble getting into the wall, and it's unfortunate for them, but we're glad they came and raced with us today. Keith Haney, this is Jeremy Patterson. You got a copy?
They're trying to sort something out here on the official race. It actually has Keith Haney. It's got Keith Haney as a lap down, the first car 1 lap down. So we'll have to figure if something happened there.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too. Okay, I thought there was something wrong with my overlay program, but I'm seeing the same thing. Something happened with the results, and they got jumbled around at the end. I don't know if the simulator glitched or what. Fortunately, we do have a record of that, so if we need to go back and manually change that, we will. I mean, it was, you know, obvious who won. We'll figure that out, and we'll get it worked out, but we definitely know that Keith Haney won that race. I don't think he's with us here on chat, though. You got a copy, Keith?
No, it looks like his TeamSpeak is off, too.
Yeah, I think he may have disconnected or something. All right, well, let's talk to Glen Sidman here. Oh, Keith, you got a copy?
Hey guys, yeah, I got you. I'm sorry about that.
Hey, so it looks like there's a little bit of a glitch going on with the results here. However, we have it all on video. We can go back and watch the video and make sure everyone gets counted the way they're supposed to get counted here. And you definitely won that race after leading every lap. Tell us about it.
It wasn't easy. Glenn was in my rearview mirror the whole race. I could not shake him for nothing.
Yeah, you guys were putting on quite a show.
Yeah, he had me sweating. That's for sure. I knew that I had to do something today. Past 2 weeks, Darlington, Talladega hasn't been my tracks. So I was going for full points today. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, you did a good job. How do you manage the stress when you're leading the race for that long and you got a car on your bumper the entire time? How do you manage that and not let it get to you and cause you to mess up? Because I tell you what, it looked like you drove pretty flawlessly.
Man, I try not to look in the rearview mirror at all, and I take away the relative box, so I can't see if I'm leaving him or he's catching me. I just try to drive it like I'm just in practice.
Well, that's a smart way to do it, and it definitely showed in your driving style. And I'm sure one thing we were thinking, I'm sure you were thinking as well, is what kind of driver is this guy? He's his first time driving with us. Is he just waiting to strike, or is he legitimately not able to catch me? So I'm sure that was on your mind as well.
Yeah, I thought that he was probably trying to run me so hard that I would run my tires off, and at the same time he'd be saving a little bit of his. But I was trying to save as much as I could. I was trying not to drive hard. I could tell that he was better than me in the bus stop. He'd gain a lot of ground on me there every time.
Yeah, yeah. We were looking at that. The bus stop in turn one, it seemed like he'd gain a little bit of ground coming into turn one, but then you'd get him on the exit. And yeah, the bus stop seemed to be where he was really catching you. But good job maintaining that composure and driving clean lap after lap. That's a good idea doing what you did, turning off the relative and all that.
Thanks, Jeremy. Matt, I enjoyed today's race. I look forward to next week. Where we at? Texas?
Yeah, we're going to be Texas 80 laps.
10-4. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, well, we enjoy having you race with us, and like I said, we'll get the points sorted out. I think there might have been a connection issue or something right there at the end, and for some reason it bumped you down off off completely. So we'll get that all sorted out, and congratulations on the win, and you're going to get a gob of bonus points after tonight. So congratulations on that too.
Thank you, guys.
Glenn Sidman, your first race with us, you got second place. Congratulations, man! You did a great job out there, and it was a lot of fun watching you. Tell us all about it.
Thanks, Jeremy. And first, I want to say thanks to the league for letting me join. Having a blast. Congratulations to Keith. There was just nothing I could do. I think he made two minor mistakes, and it didn't even seem to slow him down. So he was beating me bad through the S's. I could get him after the bus stop, but he had me the whole race, though, for sure.
Yeah, we were just talking to him about that. He did a good job maintaining the composure.
Yeah, I did. I mean, all I was trying to do was just trying to get him to make a mistake, but no, he doesn't do that, I guess.
We were also checking the top four guys didn't even pit. How close were you guys on fuel?
Oh, I was good. I had a couple more laps.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think with the truck, I tend to run a pretty low gear through the corners, help keep the wheel spin down, and I think that saves fuel too.
That's a nice tip.
Yeah, well, good show, man. We hope you continue racing with us. We really enjoyed having you, and you're clearly a good, clean driver, and we look forward to seeing you on the ovals and see how that works out as well.
Oh, thanks, Jeremy. I look forward to it. They're actually going to school me on the ovals. I haven't done much oval racing in the last couple of years, so I'm here to learn some oval racing again. So thanks for the broadcast, guys.
All right, thank you. We'll see you next week, Glenn. Zach Reed, you got a copy?
Yep.
Third place, not bad.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Tell us about your race and about the track. What'd you think?
It was good. I pretty much everyone ahead of me was faster, and everyone behind me was slower. So I just held on to it and did what I had to do.
You did a good run tonight. It was good.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it was like I said. I just had to stay on the track basically.
Yeah, hey, sometimes that's the best way to do it. You get battling with somebody for a position, you end up, slipping up and going off the track or whatever. So good job by you guys getting sorted out. Good job on the start. That looked like it could have been hairy, and you guys handled it like pros.
Yeah, everyone gave each other enough room. So yeah, I was just hoping not to lose too much on the start and have to make it up, but I basically stayed where I was, and that was it for the whole race basically.
Yeah, with that first turn being so sharp, it's kind of like an accordion effect anyway, so pretty much everyone gets bunched up. So what are your thoughts going into next week at Texas?
I like that track. I'm pretty solid, so especially the trucks, it makes it a lot of fun, a lot of speed, almost full throttle, so that'll be wild.
All right, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
No, that's pretty much it, man. I wish I could have raced with Chris a little more. I'm good friends with him, but that's all good.
All right, well, I'm sure there'll be plenty of side-by-side racing next week, and it should be pretty exciting. And we look forward to that, and we look forward to have you race with us.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Yep.
All right, Matt, so next week we're doing Texas. What do you think?
High speeds, like he was saying, you can almost go full out the entire way, so it's going to be a lot more technique, fractions of a second instead of, like a whole different world from where we were today. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, and yeah, it kind of makes you wonder: are we going to see shades of Kansas? Remember, Kansas was pretty disastrous race for us. Well, for us, 6 cautions. I guess it was pretty typical. I think we averaged better than the NASCAR Nationwide Series for that race, but yeah, it's going to be tempting to go really fast.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up, but yeah, I guess pretty much it's going to be one of those where if it's too easy, people are going to overdrive it and then cause a lot of wrecks. The hope is that they realize, hey, this happened last time, and they keep it under control a little bit more.
Yeah, and it's so hard to predict that. I try to predict it, and I ended up looking like a goofball every time because it never works out. I say, oh no, it's going to be awful. I mean, look at last week at Talladega. We had 1 caution, and that was due to a glitch. I mean, how awesome is that?
Yeah, it was pretty nice. So yeah, I mean, it could be the quality drivers we got here. We could end up, I don't want to cross my fingers and say no cautions, but it could be.
It could be. I mean, yeah, they're good drivers. Our new additions are good, clearly good drivers. Now, he did say that he's not too familiar with racing. That was Glen Sidman. Not too familiar with racing ovals, but he'll get there, and he seems like a mature, patient person. So I don't think that's going to really affect him at all. He might not be up front, but he's not going to be a messy driver either. He'll be good and patient, and I think it won't be long before we see him up front.
Oh yeah, just like Larson in the Cup Series, not going to take too long.
Yeah, and he's fun to watch too. All right, well, that's going to about do it for tonight's broadcast. Make sure you check out our website, redlightleague.com. You can see schedules, standings, photos, links, video, and more. There's links to our YouTube page, our Facebook page. Click on there and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook. Keep up with all the latest happenings. We'll post the video of tonight's race and a recap video of tonight's race later on in the week. If you or someone you know is on iRacing and would like to join us, log on to iRacing.com, go to the Leagues section, and right there in your search box, you can see on the screen, just type in Red Light Racing and find us and apply. Send me or Matt a PM and tell us why you'd like to join the league and why you think you'd be a good fit, and we would definitely be glad to have you. As we already talked about, next week, Texas Motor Speedway, that's next Monday. Practice goes on at 8 p.m., qualifying is 8:30, and the race starts at 8:35. We'll start the broadcast right around 8:30 when they start qualifying. And after Texas, it'll only be 2 more races till the finish. There'll be Phoenix and Homestead. So that ought to be exciting. Which one are you looking forward to the most out of the 3, Matt?
Actually, I think Texas. I think Texas is going to be, a good open track. Phoenix is, it's nice also, but it's kind of, a short track. Well, the dogleg does bring a lot of interest to it, though. Homestead with the variable banking at the end, that's a good final track. But I like Texas. Yeah,
I think we got a good schedule, and I got to agree with you on that. I think Texas is going to be a lot of fun to watch. It's such a fast track. And, like they were saying, you can just about keep it pedal all the way to the metal on that one. So that'll be a lot of fun to watch. That'll be 80 laps at Texas Motor Speedway next week. And also be sure to join us every Monday night at 8:30 Eastern while we finish out the season. And we'll start another season. We may take a week or 2 off after Homestead. We still haven't ironed out the details on that. But we will get those details out on our website and on our Facebook page as soon as they're certain. And until then, take care and good night.
Have a good week, everybody.